Thanks for staying with us. So we would have preferred not to talk about Femi Fani-Kayode today. But the truth is, we saw a video when Nigerians were singing a song that Nigerians usually sing in church. My helper, oh, my helper, my helper, oh. And then we saw him coming down from the car, greeting them, appreciating their cheers. And we thought about it and said, listen, sometimes we have to tell each other the truth on how we relate with our leaders or people we admire or we... admire is too good a word. I'm telling people that we're supposed to...
Yeah, we celebrate.
That we celebrate. So the conversation is, many people saw that and found it distasteful. However, we all do it somehow in different ways. When we see political leaders, we see rich people, we see people that we feel that we need them for something or we are seeking favors from them. And we celebrate them, even if the truth is that we don't like what they do, we don't like what they stand for. We don't have the confidence to say it to their face, but because of what we need, we have sycophants around them. So the conversation is, how do we begin to talk to each other as citizens on knowing how to preserve your dignity as a person? Especially because at times like this, we need real leaders. We need to celebrate integrity, celebrate people who are doing the right thing. So that's the conversation. We saw that video, and we're probably going to play it at some point so that people can see it. But it's not just about them. It's about all of us, Nigerians, in different ways, shapes, or fashion. We all do it. I don't want to use the word that comes to mind on television. It's not the appropriate word. But it's something XYZ leaking from these leaders. It's what we do somehow. So how can we begin to take them for who they are, which are servant leaders? They are supposed to serve us. So those people shouldn't be there singing those kind of praises. They should be there to ask questions. So what are your thoughts on this? Let me start with Nima.
So what those women did for me is the least of the sycophancy. Those are women supporters, probably for the day's earning of maybe in the highest 10,000 naira per person. So they are, being videoed, praising him. Usually they'll go there. The late Saraki used to have women trek for hours in Kwara State to get, every Friday, to get what he called a sadaka from those women, and they called them, and we saw when the drama happened in Kwara, some of those women would rather die than have that.
Remember, they're the sycophants. They're the ones that will vote. Remember?
But no, those ones, you can't even compare that late Saraki to Fani Kayode. No, they can't be compared because he did it consistently till death for those women. But for me, the issue is the relationship between Mr. President and Fani Kayode. Is either that 100% truth, or in every 100% falsity, there's 1% truth, is the situation, or something is wrong. Like Wake said, I would not, if it was me, be associated with him. For the level and looseness of tongue. Someone who is careless with what he says per time, cannot be trusted with what he says, comes out and defames me. Not even an apology publicly to me would bring me to a point where it's defecting and I'm the one receiving it. The party can receive him. The truth is, in one of the videos that I shared on my Instagram page, I listened to that video over and over again, and how he was talking to Nnamdi Kanu then, and assuring him of a division that I could not see in my immediate neighborhood, telling him that, the North and the Eastern agenda, and after that video, and I saw the picture of the president, I said, it's either what he said about the president's agenda being total northern and selfish there's a percentage of truth in it, or the president, something is wrong with him being associated with him again. I will not.
Okay, so
the president now, in this case now, is also a sycophant in this case, because someone of his character should not be
vehemently speak against.
In fact, they used to call it in olden days ostracized. In Islam, they will say, do not take his witness for anything.
Okay, so
he cannot be a witness in a criminal case against anybody, even a civil matter. His word cannot be trusted.
So okay, I was going to focus on the sycophancy, the people. But now you've taken us to a point where we're not critically analyzing. Let us even understand what is at play here. On the president's side, the people's side, from even the political party side, and the person. What exactly, the people are asking, what is at play, what is happening, who is aligned with who, to what objective. Because many of us are outside the circles. I mean, I try really hard not to get into those circles. I mean, as much as they pull me, I try to stay where I am because this is my lane. So maybe somebody can call us in and explain to us what exactly is happening, this alignment that we're seeing. And this sycophancy we're seeing, let me come to Mariam, your thoughts on the women and all the celebrations and how we as a people are with our leaders.
Yeah, so the danger, we know sycophancy and politics go hand in hand. I feel that they feed off each other because you have to have those praise singers sort of, you know, encourage you and give you the confidence that you are liked. And people have turned that sycophancy, they use it knowing that this is also another way where they can gain favor from the person that they are trying to push. So that happens. But the truth is, for us Nigerians, for those of us who want better leaders, who want those that will represent us, who do that in honesty and, you know, and truthfully, we need to realize that when we praise people that are not deserving of praise, it backfires on us. So you may get the 10,000 naira for the day, but then your praises have put in someone in office who does not deserve to be there, and who will calculate every 10 naira he's giving you and he take times 100 of what he has given you. So it's important that we know that this has an effect on us. Be careful who you push out there just because of what you want for today. And that's why when people talk about the votes, we tend to leave it for only when it's election period. But this sycophancy is all year long, through the years, before elections come. You're constantly praising someone. But that is at the local level. We have a new form of sycophancy, the brand, personality, image makers. They know who this person is. They know what he stands for. They understand that he does not really have the qualities or has the credentials, but they know the words and things that they use to make this image. Because at the end of the day, it costs money to do that, and they'll be paid money. So everybody is in there for the money that they can get for themselves. Right. Yesterday on the show, you were saying something about how do we get people not to push things. You were talking about our Nigerians in diaspora, where they seem to be doing things only for themselves. Like they get the opportunity, yes, me, myself, and I. And that is what we're doing with the sycophancy. See, it's like, I don't care about the Nigerian problem. For me and my family, I'm going to use this guy and get some money and keep it aside. So that is what we're doing at different levels. And no one can point to anyone and say, oh, it's those that are not educated, because the educated ones are doing it in an educated way. Yeah. We're all sycophants.
We're all in different ways. So the real conversation is, how do we begin to help Nigerians to look at this from a different way? Because I really want us to use FFK's situation. It is such a learning curve and a learning opportunity for many Nigerians. So we said it yesterday that what not to be, who not to be, is this man right here. But there, my question, my next question, and I'm coming to you, YK. Yes, we are all sycophants. We are all in this situation now where we all need something or the other. But if we desire real leaders, if we desire true leaders, how can we talk to each other to change our perspective on how we see them? Because I would like to see a leader and greet him in a decent, respectful way and move on. I don't have to loiter around you to see if something will drop and everything. But that's the mentality. People just stick around you just in case something just drops. Why do we always do that?
Well, you see, I think it's our orientation. Because I was going to go back to when Babangida was president. And I remember then, is that the video?
That's the video. See, it's showing now. See, they're all singing. I wish we could get some audio so that for those who haven't seen it. So that's Fani trying to come down. They are there singing, my helper. See that? Yeah. I mean, and then he comes down.
Banda. Hey, action.
See that?
Oh my God.
Look at that. She's worshiping him. Worship. Praise and worship.
Obviously.
Wait, how did we get here?
Obviously, it's stage managed. For me, that is obviously stage managed. But I was going to go to when Babangida was president. And I remember Everybody was criticizing him, June 12th, everybody. And a few years went by, and suddenly he came to Lagos for an event. As he walked into that event, everybody that was there, they are all part of the people that have abused him, June 12th, they all stood up and cheered this man on. He came in like a king. And all the people who had criticized, because everybody is looking for their own stomach infrastructure. Until we now, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with meeting a power person. But, I mean, I will not meet someone now and start saying, sir, please, sir, thank you, sir, good morning, sir. No, because we are all human. So when we start to treat everybody like a human being, and don't just think, oh, because he's there, what am I going? And if we don't start to teach ourselves now, this trillion that they say they are borrowing, because we will accept it. We will accept anything just for now. I've noticed that Nigerians, we don't think of future. We only think of now.
Yes.
We only think, what is my gain right now? Not what is my gain in future.
Exactly. Which is what we
Or what is the gain of my children in future?
No, we don't think that far.
What will I gain?
And I.
Yeah.
You know, because, I mean, I was working with somebody, and she was telling me that when they give out contracts to people, they do all the work to get the contract, and then they run away with the money. They don't care. So, because I was asking, because I was saying, like, why? Because, you know, with our outside, when you see Lagos State, you think, Lagos State, we just get contract. Wait, but when I started working with the Commissioner for Education, and I saw the process for somebody to just collect, and I'm like, this process is so difficult. People think that you just come here and just collect money and go. No, it's a very, very stringent process to collect 1 naira from the government. But after that long process, you now get the money, you won't even do the job. You just run away with it.
That is why people like that
we are our own
arrested.
problem.
Yes.
It's because there are no consequences. Where have you heard that they successfully prosecuted and jailed somebody who did that? We have millions who did in the past. There's a particular project right before my nose. Every time I drive there, I cry because it has been awarded 8 times already. 8 times. And commissioned, they will come and commission, they will start the project
8 times.
8 times, and the communities are supposed to benefit from it. I watch it.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, we're going to continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still dissecting Femi Fani-Kayode's the reception he got from his praise singers in his house, and comparing that to how we Nigerians treat leaders or people who we see are wealthy, how we sing their praises, and if this is sustainable, or how we can even begin to retrace our steps to treat them as they should be treated as servant leaders. Let me take Bright. Good morning, Bright. Are you there?
Hi, guys. Good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Let me start by saying that I think everybody has his right to defect or not to. Secondly, I also feel that at somebody like Fani-Kayode, for me, it beats my imagination up till now that anybody would take him serious. Because even if he defected to APC, what is the block vote that Fani-Kayode will give to anybody who wants to be president? And you know, it's so funny that even the Khan, I remember Khan say at the point in time that he's the next president of Nigeria. It is that bad because he has this thing with his mouth, just like one of you said there, that when he started saying this rhetoric, everybody seems to believe him. But you know what? I said to somebody that is not peculiar to Nigeria. We saw what happened in the U.S. As bad as some people feel Donald Trump is, some people still feel that it's the best thing that had happened to America. Yeah. So for me, I think we youth should change the method. Populate APC, populate PDP, and when it comes to the primaries, make sure you are a member, carry member. I'm not talking of social media members. I'm not talking of Facebook members. Go into these two parties, be a delegate, and vote who you think will represent your interest. And thirdly, is to the fact that just like everybody, we are all equal. It's only in Nigeria that, look, I work in an organization where the head of the organization asked me to call him by name because he said we are equal. When we travel out of that country, we take the same per diem. We stay in the same hotel. He cannot say because he's my boss, then he will stay in a certain hotel and then I'll stay in another one. Until we start addressing these things to make everybody know that we are equal, whether small or big, because at the end of the day, when we vote, it's only one that I have that you have.
Thank you very much, Bright. So Bright has opened the door. I think I'd like to stay on for a minute. So Fani-Kayode could be in APC for a good reason. Maybe he has gone there to actually help clean up. Or he could have gone there. I mean, let us see the brighter side. So, okay, how useful is a Fani-Kayode? His cantankerous nature can help in maybe scattering everywhere there or being a spokesperson for the party because obviously he's good with words. Yes. Maybe they desperately need somebody who is speaking for the party. So maybe there's a reason, you know. So we can look at the silver lining here for the usefulness of a Fani-Kayode in APC. And if we can make sense of it, as I said, we are not politicians. We don't know the political cards that he's playing. Well, as Nigerian citizens, we're only trying to imagine, you know, why a man like this would be invited or would defect to APC.
Okay, so it's about, I can see why a political party would associate with him, not a person. So the political parties, what they want is they want more votes. They want people to be talking about them. They want more support. And somebody like a Fani-Kayode who has the gift of the gab, I mean, when he sits down here, you know, we always talk about it, and he speaks so well. It's easy for the words to come. And he tends to hold people in, you know, yes, when he speaks. So there's that. And I can see why a political party will be associated with it. But the question now would be, so what does that party stand for? If the sort of person that they're associated with is described to be a certain type of person who does not, you know, who you cannot trust his word, where he says one thing today and he says it with all his might, and he even puts his life on the line concerning it, and yet he changes his mind the next time. So for that political party, do they realize that this is what they are, that they are aligning with? Another thing is, maybe the political parties think Nigerians don't care about those values. So it's coming back to us. Do you really care who is representing who is aligning with who? As long as they can come and talk to you and give you all the sweet words, when they are done, you still be carrying those placards and singing praise and worship song for God towards a human being. So maybe it's really about us. We don't really care. What are our values?
God bless
what do you want?
Thank you. Let me take Onoa. I'll come to you, Nima. Onoa, good morning. Are you there?
Mariah, good morning.
Good morning. You're live. Go ahead, please.
All you ladies, I thank you all.
Morning.
Your program is very interesting.
Thank you, sir.
The truth in Nigeria is that we are blessed with more than enough for sacrifice. We have people all over, from community level to the village level to the club level, everywhere. Sacrifice have built everywhere. And that is why why every Nigerian is complaining that Buhari has already destroyed us. People, governors, senators, even Fani-Kayode, after condemning himself that he would rather die than join APC, what do we expect from there? I think I align myself with YK when he says the politics in Nigeria is about self-pocket projects. People just struggle to just fill their pocket. We don't have genuine politicians at all. Only God will save this country because everybody, I tell you, everybody is a psychopath. For me to conclude, I tell you from 2015, having Buhari as the president of Nigeria is a huge mistake. And that PC is the ruling party is a huge disappointment. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Is this an indictment on APC also, you think? I mean, because there are other, I don't know.
You see, I just want us to realize something. You make your money from fraud. Every Nigerian, I won't say everyone because some of us still have values. But a lot of Nigerians will hail you. They don't care how that money came about. The fact is that you have that money to spend. So you become a papa. Kiniko. So they don't know whether she's...
You don't care.
How she made it.
They don't care. Now, we need... That's why I say, let us rejig our brains. Let us start to educate the younger ones coming, because for some of us, it's a lost cause. We are there. Our children that are coming up, our children that are going to take over, how are we going to... Because it was on our this thing that we saw some politician take rice to some people in Ghana, but they threw the rice back at him.
Yes.
Values. Yeah. What are our values, our core values?
Even in this Nigeria.
Wait, Nima, I'm so sorry I have to pause you again. Peter's been holding for a while. Peter, are you there? Now come to Nima. Peter, you're live.
Morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Moyo. Adiemi.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma.
Morning.
Yes, ma. Yes, I think the issue of Sycophancy has been there for a very long time. Even if we go back to our homes, we find out parents are not asking children questions of how they got this or they got that. Then, in Nigeria as a whole, I think this is if there should be a law against it. Because I always find it hard to believe when I hear somebody defect from a party to another party. It shows a sense of disloyalty. It shows a sense, you know, you go to foreign countries, you hear somebody in a political party for 20 years, for 30 years. I mean, a sense of loyalty to what he believes. What does he really believe? Does he really love the country? Then you find out people defect from parties in Nigeria just for selfish reasons. Even the president that we have today, how many parties was he before he finally became a president? Those are the things that we're looking at. What is making somebody defect? Is it loyalty? But in this country that we are, we find out that a lot of them move out of selfish interest. Not actually because of love. Look at those people on the video that you just showed us today. How many of them are really affected by aviation industry or by former ministry that the same man poses to be a minister of? How many of them? If people just come out because once you have money, you are seen as a god and not actually because of a love for the nation.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Peter.
you so much.
I have to wrap up, but let me let Nima final
For the
thoughts.
party, for me, this is where the problem is. I think if the party think his eloquence, empty eloquence is something of value, I wonder, because for some of us, I can't even see content anytime he speaks. And for you to say this person has some value that is bringing, for those governors who packaged him and sold him to the president, who spent time with him, and you say, you know, I was with governor of so state, I was with governor, you know, and the one who mistakenly announced his defection much earlier when he was still prizing himself, that some people call it research. This is a man who's not been able to keep family itself together. Which value does that person bring to you? In some countries, this is what you check of a person to be sure that this is a leader who can lead. Someone who can make compromises and make his immediate territory work before you talk about a national.
Well, he's not running for an office yet. He's not, but he's just joining the party.
He hasn't run for any office in his entire career in politics. He's an appointee of government. He locks around office, the power offices for what he gets. So he's probably waiting, just like the last caller said. This is a person who, I don't know how we price loyalty, but loyalty goes to the very core of everything. This is someone who has never stuck to one person. So loyalty is something he lacks. What exactly is the value that he's now bringing to anybody? Appointment as Minister of Aviation, we still have issues with aviation.
Well, we have to wrap up
information, what exactly will he bring?
We will continue to monitor the story because I want to know what exactly, as I said, what's being calculated. Is it for him to become spokesperson of APC? Is it because to be Minister of Information?
Officer?
Is it because to take Garbashew's job? Is it become to be VP? Let us know what exactly did he become for governor?
Just a member of the party.
Or just a member, just okay, so that he's in their fold.
Elder in the Southwest representative.
Okay, we will continue to monitor Femi Fani-Kayode because the campaign is still news. I mean, still mind-boggling, and Nigerians are still asking lots and lots of questions.
He's the epitome of what not to be in life.
Thank you,
It's the epitome.
We're yet to see him at Bodilon. Now, really, I'll really be surprised to see him.
I doubt it.
I'll be shocked if he
They
comes to
had
body.
their differences.
Because if he comes to body loan, I'll be really shocked. I mean, that one will shock me.
Politics,
But you never
they
know.
say.
Hey, they don't have permanent friends, right?
Or permanent friends.
So let's just see what happens.
Interest.
Let's go on a break. When we return, move on to other stories. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.